And welcome to another episode of Shots, movie reviews by filmmakers. In today's episode, we're going to be doing the 2022 action thriller, The Gray Man, starring Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ann de Armas, Billy Bob Thornton, directed by the Russo brothers.
You came out swinging with that.
Wow.
It's the Gray Man energy. Everyone shits on this movie. Why?
Yeah. Well, it has terrible ratings by the critics. I went in blind, and 3 people who I trust their opinion of movies told me to watch it within the first weekend it came out. My roommate Haley, who you guys have seen before, my little brother Seth, shout out, and my parents. All were like, this movie fucks hard, basically. And so I was stoked, and then all of our friends were like, I heard it's really bad.
They
hadn't seen it. And then I watched it, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we watched it.
Thank you. People shit on it. Are there things to shit on? Sure. There are. But this goes into popcorn movies, because it's summer. We've got Top Gun, Jurassic World. It's popcorn movies.
Yeah.
Is this movie Top Gun? No, it's not Top Gun. But I was eating popcorn. I was liking it.
Yeah, it should have been a theater movie, which one of our friends did say, and I kind of agree. It would have been great to see in the theater. I felt the same way I felt when I watched Mission Impossible.
Right.
Where there were a few scenes I was like, okay, this is not actually what probably should have happened. There's a lot of people that should have died, but full action, new kills, creativity.
Creative kills.
With the action. And, like, the storyline made enough sense and was grounded in enough reality that I was, like, entertained.
Yeah, alright, so I agree. It's good. I will see it again. Mm-hmm. But in the weird, like you're saying, this is like a spectacle movie. You got Mission Impossible, massive franchise. And in this vein, you got John Wick.
Yeah.
Similar, like, it's just action, plot's fine. Plot is what it is, but it's like there for action. And out of like those movies, it's not as good as those movies, but it's still like, hey, this is a new movie.
I was entertained.
Yeah, I'm fine. The CIA secret shadow guy villain that Tommy did not like, that you see for like 5 seconds. He's in the movie for 5 seconds. That could put somebody off because he's like childishly inept and like acts like he throws his drink at some point, and he acts not like a professional ever, and that's his role. But once you're past that, which is like 5 seconds, then you just got Ryan Gosling, kicking ass.
And the true bad guy is supposed to be that guy, but it's actually Chris
the muscle.
Evans.
I wrote Chris Evans. Oh, I thought I wrote something funny for that. I just said he takes over as psychotic muscle.
Yeah,
because every like, you got your muscle, you got your brains and the bad guys, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's the muscle.
And
he's psychotic.
Seeing him because we have mainly been conditioned to see him as Captain America for so long that this is the second time we've seen him as a villain, because he's technically a villain in Knives Out, spoiler alert, and he's a villain in this, and he's a true villain. He plays a fucking douchebag. He has funny one-liners. Like, every decision he makes, even though it's psychotic, makes sense for his character. So I'm sure it was super fun for him to play because he could be a jerk. And then it was cool to watch him because Ryan Gosling, even though he usually plays a scumbag and kind of looks scummy in this, is the hero.
Right. Everyone in this movie, again, it's not perfect, but they all had something to do.
Yeah.
So, like, because there's only so many characters. I guess the young girl, her existence was to be saved, like that was her role. But Ryan Gosling and the female on his side,
Ann de Armas,
she could have been thrown to the side, but she like was there enough where she was there doing things.
And she did action stuff, like she was doing it.
Alright, so I got one issue. So this movie, like John Wick, like Mission Impossible, you're like, I believe the willing suspension of disbelief is here. Like, I understand this is a movie. It is what it is. And this movie, there's a couple moments where it breaks it, where you're like, this has gone too far.
Yeah.
And there's a scene towards the end where she's like running.
Oh yeah, with the bazooka.
Yeah, and she's like, it looks fake, like it looks cartoonish because it's this human who's just running around a compound with like infinite energy and the speed of Usain Bolt.
Because I remember saying to you, wait, is that the girl?
Yeah, she's just masked up.
It's just like
and she's
unbelievable.
just like, yeah, and you're like, wait, nobody can do what she is doing.
I agree.
And this isn't a movie of like people jumping off of cars and landing on
and she
buses
flipped
and
so
stuff.
quick against her job.
True.
To be a bad
There was a weird. Well, wait.
Because, like, she essentially just trusted Ryan Gosling's character and kind of just was like, all right, like,
she's like, this is how I'm going to get saved, I guess. It's like, is that the quickest? Would you have done that right away? Because the plot, Ryan Gosling, secret agent man, nameless, number 6. Six.
Driver.
Oh, that's the other thing. This is just Ryan Gosling's character from Drive taken to another level.
Yeah.
That's my fan theory. But, what were we saying?
Ann de Armas.
Ann de Armas. Oh yeah, she switches because the plot is Ryan Gosling is there to kill somebody and you find out it's another secret agent who was a good guy but is now a bad guy and he's just Ryan Gosling's just following his orders and then the hit goes wrong. All in like the first 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
You're introduced to Ryan in a jail and the next thing you know he's the best killer in the world. But yeah, it's just everybody had enough to do. Like, and it definitely gets narrowed down into Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, and they had fun little like one-liner chemistry, and it was close. When we're comparing it to all these other franchises like Fast and the Furious, it felt Fast and Furious-y because there was so all of a sudden one-liners started coming out every other line, and it's good, but for $200 million,
yeah.
Should have been better.
There's 2 points that were my main. One was the CIA bad guy, not Chris Evans, the other one, the main guy. He brings up what you've said in multiple podcasts of like, Hollywood still struggles with making that scummy, nerdy, smart bad guy.
Yeah. Like we said,
like,
Social Network is that guy.
Chris Evans beating the shit out of him and not listening.
Oh, yeah. Because the best Die Hard with Hans Gruber is like the best smart bad guy. Yeah. Where it's like there's this.
Put together.
He's just like put together. He's very just like, oh, that's very nice that you're saying that. But can back up being a bad guy.
Where you didn't believe it. I was more afraid of Chris Evans.
Yeah, this guy just seemed incompetent and lame.
Yeah, that was my first one. And then at the end, my major note was like, there is a moment where Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, who have played this like chicken game throughout the whole film, and there's banter, finally have their like collide to where they're gonna have their big battle, and they do, and it's great, and then it just gets cut short by another person, and I won't spoil it, but the ending just fell so flat in that moment because I felt like to the audience, we've watched both of their stories progress, and they are truly the main protagonist and antagonist out of everyone.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I wasn't satisfied with how it ended on that front, and it annoyed me.
So.
But I will give it, they did do a lot of it. They were actually fighting, you could tell.
Oh yeah, that's the, like, as far as fight choreography goes, it's good fight choreography. And that's like more than you can say for a lot of movies. Marvel movies. And that last fight scene was good. Here's number 3 issue. Big issue. And this goes into like, not even suspension of disbelief. It's like, we just can't have this moment happen. So if I were writing and directing it, I wouldn't even put this situation right. When Chris Evans, this whole thing is like, go watch the movie. Don't listen just because we're going to talk about the movie. Chris Evans goes to get him when he's trapped in a well. Or like in the bottom of the well.
Yeah.
Which was a fun, like, how's he gonna get out of this? That was a fun, like, little Indiana Jones thing. Little MacGyver. And then Ryan Gosling just kills everybody. He gets out. And he does a little face-off with Chris Evans. And he beats Chris Evans in that moment. I don't even remember how. And Chris Evans is like on the ground. Ryan Gosling has a gun. And they do not kill him and the lady. Do not kill Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And in this world where people are being killed every 5 seconds, and people are trying to kill you every 5 seconds,
Why?
I was like, well, you want to put a bullet in the head of this guy that you know is like a psychotic human being,
Yeah.
who's got your best friend's daughter? Spoilers. I say you gotta kill him in that moment. You go, you shouldn't kill him. It's like a horror movie when you walk into a basement. That's a note. That's a legit note in terms of not perfect.
But I will say, I love the Russo brothers. I think they turn out decent action movies. I recommend watching this. I don't regret it. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I would give this. I don't know if you're gonna like what I'm gonna say. I would give it an 8.5.
I wouldn't give it an 8.5.
Really? Are you gonna give it an 8?
No, I'll give it a lower than. I'd give it. Again, going to that popcorn movie where it's like a silly. I know. Not even silly, but it's like I know what this is. I'm not going in thinking this is gonna be. I don't even know. 2001. Because it was fun to watch. I would watch it again, but I gave it a 7.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Fair.
Okay. So we'll land.
I'm gonna get a 6.9.
Oh my god.
6.9.
All right, so we're gonna land on a 7.4, but 8, 6.9.
Yes.
Gray Man, it's on Netflix.
Only because alright, if we say that's an 8, what other movies have we said that are 8s that are like, oh, that movie's
In
clearly
action?
better? It's true, in action.
This is what I do it by the genre.
Right. I hear you.
I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I
'Cause
think
there are
there's a lot of
perfect action
elements to it that are like, there's heartfelt, there's a ticking clock, there's action, they do all their own fighting, there's not a lot of CGI in my opinion.
Other than, like,
Very James Bondy.
The city being destroyed. The city being destroyed, it was a really good action scene,
ridiculous.
but I was like, wait, you can't destroy a city.
Dynamic action movie, that's what
Dynamic action movie. I say go see it.
Yeah, go see it.
Check it out.
This has been another episode of Shots. See you next time.
We might be wearing the same clothes.